Good morning, everyone. We have got an answer for the MTD therapy quarter update issue that appeared over the weekend. So, for a bit of backstory, a couple of members submitted their first QU to HMRC and noticed that the calculation was providing transactions after the quarter end update. So, it's a bit strange. When we think about MTD, we always think about MTD for VAT. And if your period end is the 30th of June, it only runs up to the 30th of June. It doesn't include any transactions after that. But for making tax digital for income tax, they were seeing transactions post that date included in the calculation. So we have gone around, Robin and I, we've asked software guys and we've emailed and messaged the revenue to get answers on that. Now, massive hats off to the two Bens of Tax Calc and Freeagent over the weekend, giving up their spare time to help us all understand as accountants in the MTD therapy group how this is going to work with their software. And I can't thank them enough. So we look forward to Sage, QuickBooks and Xero and any other software developers out there getting back to us soon. Please do. But the answer for the revenue is quite straightforward. So let's just recap what we're going to talk about here. We're talking about the quarterly update that gets submitted to HMRC. So the first one for us is going to be to the 30th of June. And I say 30th of June, I've elected for calendar period ends, or 5th of July if you're not. So we're doing 30th of June. That's got to be filed. If with penalties regime was in, at the moment it's not, it would have to be filed by the 7th of August to say, I am keeping digital accounting records in MTD compliant software, and here's all the information. So I keep really good, accurate records. I'm doing my first QU up to the 30th of June. I've got my bookkeeping up to date to the 21st of July. Is the information when I submit it going to do a calculation based on the period up to the 30th of June or up to the 21st of July? Post your answers below in the comments. We'll see who's right. And the answer is it depends solely on what the software wants to do. So the software developers out there, my understanding is that Freeagent and TaxCalc will only do the calculation and the information up to the 30th of June. So if I submit my Q1 today, 21st of July, I've met my MTD filing requirement to say I've kept digital accounting records up to that date. But then if I submit another QU update for the June period on the 10th of August, it will still only include the information up to the 30th of June. Now, the second way that software developers seem to be doing it, and it is down to the software provider's choice apparently, is that they are saying, well, we're going to do the 30th of June, and then under the cumulative basis, also include up to the 21st of July. Now, the requirement is to ensure you're keeping digital accounting records in MTD compliant software. So the fact that it's included in the previous 21 days doesn't negate the fact that you've met that obligation, you've done it. So it's just about which software provider, and hopefully they're going to give you two options. Do you want the estimate up to the end of a period end, or do you want the estimate to be up to the day today in real time? Now I know what my answer is going to be. I see MTD for income tax like MTD for VAT. I want to do estimates for my clients up to a period end. I don't want it to be, middle of July. I include that final bit there, but other people might disagree, and that's fine. Put down below if you think that's how you want to do it. But if I then submit a quarter update for period one on the 10th of August, in the second way of doing it, it will then include those transactions up to the 10th of August as well. It doesn't change the fact that you already met your obligations to submit the Q1 update before the 7th of August, but it just gives you a more up to date tax estimate essentially through the revenue software. So there's a lot of things to consider here. And one thing that the revenue have confirmed is it's down to the software providers to make it explicitly clear to us as users how that calculation is going to be done. Now, the fact that we've got over 450 members in the MTD therapy group, all incredibly intelligent accountants, bookkeepers, and businesses, none of them know exactly until prior to this weekend what the MTD software is going to do the calculation on, shows that clearly there's a lot more communication needed by everybody. So software developers, we need more clarity, and HMRC, we need some as well. So think of it that way. Two ways of doing it. Software, one's going to do it up to the quarter end, one is going to do it up to the date of the submission. They will both be fine for ticking the box for MTD compliant software, but they're going to produce two completely different tax calculations. And if the taxpayer is unrepresented, that could pose quite a serious issue if they're basing those tax calculations on savings for tax. It's going to be wildly different numbers, in particular when we're not doing journals at the moment and things like that for estimates for accruals and prepayments and debtors and creditors. So it's quite a serious issue. Now, I hope this information has been helpful. I know there's going to be a lot of comments in the MTD therapy group about this, but bottom line is, Apparently, it is all down to the software developers as to how they want to do it. There is no set out standard by HMRC that says it must be only transactions up to the 30th of June. It's been left quite open, actually. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Thanks for listening. Cheers, guys.